And honestly, that whole movie kind of represents it, because it's not just like a one call. It's like you keep hearing him and you keep hearing him and you keep hearing him, and you just kind of follow until you really find yourself in the place that he was leading you to go. So that's a good movie, you should watch it. But for real, that's kind of that second type of call. So for me, whenever I responded to the first call, I was 13 years old, and I know that's kind of young, but I really just felt like I wanted to be baptized. And it kind of came from when I was 13, I went overseas to play basketball. Anybody play basketball? Right? No, I know I don't look like much, but I can ball it up on the court, okay? And I was playing basketball at 13 overseas, and it was the first time I was like away from my parents, like literally could have done anything. Over there, they were like throwing these crazy parties because it was like all the high schoolers, and we were in a different country, and so we could. And whenever I was there, like it just didn't feel right in my spirit. I was like, I don't really want to participate in that, because everything I had learned, everything I knew about the Bible, like I actually wanted to follow Jesus. And so I came back home and I opened up to my parents and told my dad, like, hey, it was crazy over there, but it really made me realize that I really do believe the Bible and I really do want to be baptized. So I would love it if you'd baptize me. So my dad sat me down and he studied the word with me, and I got baptized. And I'm not gonna lie, after I got baptized, not much happened. Like my life didn't like dramatically change. I just kept following Jesus, messed up here and there. It wasn't like, oh, I got baptized and now like I'm on fire for the Lord. I wish I could say that it was, but that just didn't happen. And I don't know if it was because I didn't just fully understand it at the time where I was 13, you know? But then fast forward, and at this point I was 17. And I was at a conference like so similar to this, like the room is almost identical. And like I remember exactly where I was sitting. I was on this like section, like towards the back on the right side. It was just, I'll never forget this day. And I'm sitting there and I honestly like don't expect much. I don't really expect much to get out of the conference. I'd been to so many conferences in my life. I knew I loved Jesus. I'd already been baptized. So I was honestly just there, right? And I'm sitting there and this woman came up, and from the way I grew up a very traditional background, and women didn't preach in the church. So this is the first time I ever saw a woman preach. And I was 17 and she comes up, and I mean, she is just preaching the word. She is on fire. And the whole time, I mean, my mouth could have hit the floor. I was just like, it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And it was everything she was saying, but it was also how she was saying it that just got me. And I started to realize at 17, you know, my family show had already started. I'd already kind of stepped into this celebrity lifestyle, if you will. And I'm sitting here and I started to think about, man, everything she says matters. Like everything that person is saying, it actually matters because it's from the word of God and it's actually impacting me and influencing me. And I was like, if I'm gonna be influencing people, I wanna influence people like that. I wanna be saying something that matters. I wanna be saying something that actually moves somebody. And so at the end, she does this altar call, and I just went to the front, fell on my face, I was weeping. And I really feel like that's the time I really responded to the call of God. I was like, now my whole life is yours.